Yes, I hear that music. Siesta Ocho to be exact, folks. This is James Moore. Welcome to City Business. You're listening to solar-powered KRUU-FM, broadcasting from the Cultural District here in Fairfield, Iowa, home of, the Midwest's only solar-powered station, and also a little bit of FMC with Jason Strong in the house, and also joining me, our regular City Business guest, 4th Ward Council person, Michael Halley. Michael, how you doing today? Haven't seen you for a while.
No, I'm doing well. I'm always glad to be here.
Good to see you. Well, what's on the docket? I guess if you're here, that means the city has been counciled.
That's right. We had our first meeting of 2015, January 12th. I'll do a recap of what we went over.
Excellent.
Let's see. Well, we heard from a couple members of the public. This is just a reminder that anybody who does want to address the council can do so. They just need to fill out a little form and get it to the City Hall the Thursday prior to our Monday meeting.
Well, let's say that again slower. So if you want to have an issue that you want to address the council, you get a form from the city?
Yeah, you can either get it from the city website, cityoffairfieldiowa.com.
Okay.
Or go to City Hall. Open from 8 o'clock to 4:30 Monday through Friday, and get a form. It's a one-page form. It's very simple. You just put your name, the date of the meeting that you wish to attend, and some brief description of what it is you want to talk about. If you're requesting a street closure for an event, sometimes a map is useful. But we heard from this time, and get it there the Thursday prior to.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
So the Thursday, the prior to the Monday. So it's a pretty generous swath of time you got. So.
Yeah.
And again, the council meetings are?
Monday, 2nd and 4th Monday of the month at 7 p.m.
Perfect. All right.
Hall.
So what do you got?
All right. So a lady who had gotten stuck in the snow on the 5th wanted to talk to the council about snow removal. What is the policy? How is it handled? Essentially, Daryl Bisgard, who's the Public Works Superintendent, explained that the first priority, now that Old 34, now is Burlington Avenue, is no longer a DOT highway. That's the first priority for the city, is to clear that. So they start by clearing that. DOT still does Highway 1 through town, so that'd be South Main and then North 2nd. So they start with 34, and then they go off in all directions until they've got all the streets. They say if they start at 5 a.m. on a given morning, they'll be done by 10:30, 11 a.m. So about 6 hours to clear all the streets.
And can I just ask, that's the usual way? If snow is going or accumulating or whatever, it shifts a little, right?
Yeah, exactly. So they do the best they can. First they plow, then they sand. But the sand on top of snow that's continuing to fall is essentially useless. So they work as much as they can, but they can't go around the clock. They don't have the employees to do that. That's more of a DOT level of functioning. So they do their best. So what happened was they were clearing, and then by evening the snow was falling still, and some roads weren't all that clear. And so this particular road, the lady lives on near the edge of town, she said it didn't seem that it was plowed at all. So in that event, people can call the police department, and they will relay that to the Public Works. And Chief Thomas said that in the past, when they've gotten calls, the Public Works has been very quick to go out and handle what you might call problem area. Maybe it's a hill that's especially hard to get up or whatnot. So that's the way that would be handled. Ideally, this Public Works can get to it and get all the streets cleared in a timely manner. One interesting thing that came to mind when I was thinking about this is the increase of heavy precipitation events. This is just a meteorological fact of the times. We can argue about what causes it or doesn't cause it, but it's happening more in the summer and it's happening more in the winter, where we'll have periods of no precipitation, and then when we do get it, it comes down hard and fast. This last year, the senior center, which is kind of over close to our library, was flooded 3 times. And in the years prior, they'd never flood. They might flood once in 10 years. So we've had these heavy rain events, and we're also having heavy snow events. And if it continues, this trend continues, then we'll have to modify our approach to fit the need. So maybe in the future, that'll be having some part-time help to keep plowing when the regular employees have tired themselves out. Maybe that'll be an approach. But
I just want to sum up then, if you're in an area where your road doesn't appear to have been taken care of, the protocol is to give the police a call, and then they'll relay that. And sometimes it's hard to tell whether it's been plowed or not, depending on the type of snow it is. We've had pretty lucky snows so far. They've been like powder. All of a sudden you get some of that sticky stuff, and it's a whole different, cars are different on it. It's harder to push around. It freezes. It's trickier driving on. I'm from Wisconsin, but so there's always those elements. I noticed one night, because it was snowing late, that it didn't, but I guess one weird good thing is when it's really bad, hard snowing late, people are less likely to be out. But again, the protocol is if your street seems like it hasn't been covered or taken care of, they'll know, but you can just call the police.
Yep. Same in the event of a flood. Last summer, we had a very strange event where 4 streets converge on a hill. That area got severely flooded, and we had 2 cars get stuck because they were driving in heavy rain, so they couldn't see that far in front of them. Just assumed the road was clear. Never been an issue in the past. It's not that a stream runs through town or anything. It was just a city street, and they went in and flooded the engine with water, and no one was in danger, but it's definitely strange. I mean, if you saw the pictures in the paper, it was unusual. And
also, not very easy to start a car that has
water
in the spark plugs and stuff.
Yeah.
So
generally doesn't work.
Doesn't work too good.
Unless you've got one of those James Bond underwater cars.
There you go. It's a special starter. But anyway, well, great. So that's good to know.
Yeah. So that's the protocol. And just know that city departments, they all do their best. And then when it's 3 inches or more, the waterworks and the wastewater will actually get their crews out to clear the alleys. They'll come to the aid of the Public Works Department. So they have 3 city crews all working together. There's a train going by right now, and I just want everyone to notice. You couldn't hear it, could you?
You can feel it a little bit. So you used to see the mics shake a little more, but I think they've fixed the track somewhat. Those are full Coltrane's too.
Yeah, that's a smooth ride.
Hey, there's John Coltrane. Just kidding.
All right.
Back to reality.
Back to
wherever that is.
We had
it's over there by Jason Strong. I see it. All right, back to city business.
Collector's Cars Unlimited came to request a street closure. Can't get my link to open, but I know it's Sunday in September. I think it's early September, where they have their car show on the square. So the square will be obviously not Burlington, but the other roads will be blocked off that Sunday for the car show, as per usual. All right, so next item was we're going to have Pathfinders, which is kind of a local or area, actually. They're regional, but I think they're headquartered here in Fairfield. It's a nonprofit group that helps with grants, helps administer grants, or actually helps with grant proposals. They have a very good track record of that. The city needs to conduct an income survey in certain areas of town in order to be eligible for a certain a grant, $500,000 grant to help with our wastewater improvements.
Cool.
And so to get that information, we need to hire somebody to actually go out and get it. In the past, when the city has tried to get this kind of information, I'd say more passively, by mailing questionnaires, gotten under 5% response. It's just something people just generally don't take the time to do.
How much response do you need for a survey?
We need, I think, 300.
Okay.
So and we can get that if somebody actually was going door to door and knock on your door, your home, they ask you to fill it out. Chances of, they stay until they get the information. So that way we have it. So then once we have that, we can apply for the grant. And I did ask, I was curious if we're going to spend several thousand on this. Is it worth it? Is the grant highly competitive? But we're assured that the chances of getting it are very high. We haven't asked for it before.
I'm smiling because as a grant-seeking organization ourselves, I mean, one of the critical things the library will tell you, too, is finding a grant that's right in your breadbasket, but also just looking at other elements. When has it gone before? What are your chances? Because it makes sense. It's a big deal to fill out a big grant. So.
Or to spend money on something that's a maybe. But this one's almost definitely in terms of probability of getting it, so that's good. The next item was authorizing revised pool and recreation center construction budget. This came out of, I guess I call it a small issue that arose in our December meeting, where there are two facilities in one project. So you have an outdoor pool and an indoor gym, but they're all within the same budget, just under $9 million. You have a group of citizens who have been responsible for raising over half of that, really. Cool. I mean, privately. And so, or I'd say about half of that, but a big job. Now, the donors had certain expectations of what type of facilities their funds were going to go towards. The pool, we've got that. It's designed. It's under construction. It's going nicely. The gym, we're trying to get the gym that everybody wants. And there's certain elements that cost money and within the budget. So the task force was hoping that any savings from the pool side could be used towards the gym. Well, Melanie Carlson is kind of our interim city administrator, also city engineer. Has been kind of she has been overseeing this project, brought some change orders that were, say 90% were state required. They weren't, hey, let's just make this nicer. It was, we need by the state code to have more bathrooms. So we have to expand that. And some of the change orders are actually deductions, things that we thought might cost more, ended up costing less. But when you start digging, sometimes you find little patches of soil that's not as compact as you need, and you need more gravel, and this kind of stuff happens. So these change orders were still within the budget for the pool, but the task force said, okay, we need to know what is exactly the budget for the pool, separate from the budget for the gym, so we know if we need to raise more funds or whatever for these features for the gym. So we held off on approving those until this budget could be figured out. I was sitting in, I'm the city council liaison to the task force. I've been part of this process for 3 years, however long it's been going, maybe longer. And so we sat down and hashed it out and came up with a budget that is very specified. So even with these change orders for the pool, there's still about $12,000 in contingency just in case. But we had a representative from the pool company, the pool construction company, who said, at this point in the project, we've done these before, you're pretty good to go.
I'm smiling because, whenever you build or do something, it's like, just there's your money. Then expect at least 50% more no matter what anybody says.
Luckily, it hasn't gotten to that, but he said the state's requirements are done. Good. We're done digging, and those are the two big ones in terms of surprises.
What you might find, like, of course, the convention center.
Yeah. Well, that...
Right? Didn't that end up being like a burial ground?
Oh, yeah. They did something with the ground there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's an interesting story. I don't know the details of that since it was a private project, but I would like to hear more.
I just remember something about it. Yeah. So, but anyway, so staying on track here.
Yeah. So the pool project looks good and should come in under budget, and maybe some of that contingency could be used for a few upgrades. They call them bid alternates, where it's something that you want to add, but you don't quite have the funds for it. We were able to add all the alternates we wanted for the pool because the bids came in nice and low. When we put it out, we had estimates, and then the actual bids that the contractors brought in were lower. So that was good. But there are a couple more items. I think 3 more umbrellas is on the wish list, and that actually equals about what the contingency is. So maybe that'll happen. So the task force is saying, okay, well, we've got a certain budget for the gym, and what they're trying to get in there that currently is not in that budget are these windows along the top that run east-west on both the south and the north side of the building. A windowless gym wouldn't be quite as nice and wouldn't really be the vision that maybe a lot of the donors were looking for. So currently, I think they're about $30,000 short of the estimated budget for the project. But that estimate may be high in terms of when we go and let this to bid, which we will next week. Hopefully, the bids will come back from the contractors favorably, and there'll be some room, and we can add those windows back in. If not, I believe the task force will continue fundraising to get them in there.
I'm very pro windows. Speaking of pro windows, this is James Moore. We're speaking with Michael Halley, 4th Ward City Council person, and he's catching us up to snuff on city business. You can catch this show at KRUU-FM live Tuesday, 12:30 lunchtime after each City Council session, and then Thursday evening, 6:30 p.m. following, and then the breakfast, 6:30 a.m. the following Monday. And the shows are archived. Also, you can check out FMC, their website, to see what we look like at your own risk. And I believe there's also links from the city council, the city website as well, to keep up to snuff. And everyone's always welcome to attend city council sessions. They're open for everyone, I think almost always, aren't they?
Yeah, except for when we go into closed session, which we sometimes do at the end. But yeah, and the city council meetings on the Fairfield Media Center YouTube page, I find are an excellent sleep aid. If you're just having some insomnia, just turn that on.
Well, and also, again, the Monday city council meetings are at 7, is that right?
Yeah.
So 7 p.m., second and fourth Mondays. And the schedules, you can always go to the website and find what's on the agenda and so forth. So
yeah, it's posted on the city website.
And the ledger, of course. And
in the ledger.
We get it sent as well. So
yep, it's emailed out to the press, and it's also on the City of Fairfield Government Facebook page, which now has 511 likes.
Excellent.
So I feel like, it's legit now. I asked the council if we could do that a couple years ago, and it takes a while to build an audience. We did not put a dime into the promotion to kind of let it grow organically.
We understand that one.
Yeah. And so it's been interesting. It's funny, the stories that we posted that end up garnering a lot of likes. It's like you post about an escaped inmate on the run or something, and suddenly you got a lot more interest, or there's certain issues or even the video of the tribute building coming down.
Well, that was definitely a big one. I just happened to notice a Facebook message today from Tammy Jones at KMCD. I think it's her private Facebook page, but saying, I'm going to give you this advice: never keep a goat in your garage. I don't know. It's one of those things that just struck me as one of the most profound things I ever heard. She's got a little baby goat, and goats are notorious for eating bowels and all over the place. But it's just such a funny thing. Here's some advice. I want to give some advice. Never keep a goat in your garage. It's like, I don't know. It just feels profound to me.
It does. I think there's many levels there.
That said, back to city business.
Yes. So we approved that budget, then authorized the change orders for the pool. Done and done. We have a special council meeting on the 19th. Again, even our special meetings are open to the public. This one will have just a couple of items on the agenda.
In which committee is that, or is it a special?
The full council.
Oh, it's a full council.
Yeah. We need to set a public hearing. We set the public hearing, and the public hearing will be on the 19th for the sale of Logan Apartments. We are ready to move on that. And a little background. I'm not sure exactly the history of why the city ever owned Logan Apartments, but it did for a while, and there was a time when it brought about 50,000, maybe less, 30 to 50,000 in profits, I suppose you could call it, a year for the city. In recent years, the laws changed, and the city can no longer access those funds. They go into a fund specifically for the building. So for a number of years, they've just been collecting, but the city can't use them for anything other than upkeep or enhancements to the building. So as part of our getting financially on track post bond downgrading, if anybody remembers the bond downgrading, just pay a slightly higher interest rate now because we're looked at as
because James Bond didn't like us, right?
We're not the A+ in terms of our credit, I guess you could call it. So we worked with we're still working with the financial group to get back on track, and one thing was to pay off some old debt and put some more funds in our general fund. So the sale of Logan has been talked about for quite a while. We do want to protect the people who are there, and so part of the sale is to maintain its status as Section 4 housing, low-income housing and such.
May I just ask, is the general fund sort of like a rainy day fund? Would that be a similar or different?
No, it's it is what it sounds like. It's non-specified
Gotcha.
fund, but it's like, your basic bank account. You just want to have some money in your bank account. It looks good to have something in there, and the city generally does, but we just would like to have a little more. It's just that, you could call it that. It's a little cushion, just funds that are not specified exactly to a certain use.
Gotcha.
So, well, I guess I could talk about more. I can't say too much about it since it's still in the works in terms of a real estate transaction.
And is there anything the public would know about wanting to show up or letting people know or anything? Not really?
They have a board that oversees that property, and they've been a part of this process all along. So, I got a phone call once because Logan Apartments is in the 4th Ward, and someone was opposed to it selling, and I heard him out and discussed it with him, and professionally disagreed that wasn't a good idea, because I don't see that with the caveats that we put in this agreement that anything would change for them, depending on if we owned it or somebody else owned it. So it's good for the city. It's good for the taxpayers. If we can get that bond rating back up, we pay lower interest rates, which is good for everyone. So we'll have that public hearing. Anybody who's interested in it as a topic, please come.
There you go.
We're also going to be...
And what is the date again?
January 19th.
Okay, the 19th, which would be a
Monday.
So
it's just between our regular council meetings.
So regular council time, but just the off week.
Off week, yep. All right.
Which I'm sure you all love very much.
Yeah. People do love that kind of stuff. All right. We had a mayor report. He talked about the Blue Zone site visit. That's the last piece of the puzzle in this whole process to become designated Blue Zone community. They'll come on Monday, February 9th and January the 10th.
Wow.
And it's a group from Wellmark and from what they call themselves. I'll get you more information. I've been part of this process for so long. You'd think that I would know this stuff, but...
But now, what days did you say?
Monday, February 9th.
February 9th.
Tuesday, the 10th.
To the 10th. So that'll be their kind of triumphant... Nice time to be in. Well,
I know, exactly.
They'll definitely be blue, probably.
Well, we're going to show them a slideshow in the morning. I think at 9:30 at the convention center. It'll be like here's what our community looks like other times of the year.
By the way, is that the polar plunge time, or when is that?
Oh, yeah. I can't remember when the polar plunge is. We'll talk about that.
That'd be a good Blue Zone thing.
Well, that's on a Saturday, but yeah, I got to get my form. I think it's a little later in February this year. Yeah. All right. So they'll take a tour, and they'll go and visit some of the work sites and the restaurants and the grocery stores, and the people who achieved Blue Zone designation for their business or organization.
And there's quite a few. I think Green Building Supply is there now too, if I'm not mistaken.
They're doing kind of a modified thing, not quite a work site, but they are going to fill out and achieve a certain level. They'll be good.
Cool.
But then we'll make it to all of the restaurants or all of the work sites. We kind of picked the ones that we figured they'd like to see, and then on that Monday at 5:00, there'll be a wine at 5, schmooze fest. It's kind of part of their thing is de-stress at 5:00 by drinking wine. So we'll be meeting at Revelations for that. I know that people in this community sometimes do something else at the end of the workday. They sit down and close their eyes and meditate. That's something some people do, but Blue Zones.
Some close their eyes with wine. It's all
drink the wine. So that's what we'll be doing.
It's a meditation in a bottle.
That's what it is. All right. You can. Yeah.
For our listeners, I'm doing all sorts of antics that you'll see on television.
He's doing his drums. All right. His air drums. Final thing is we set a council work session. We do this every January, every year. We're doing it for the Chamber of Commerce tomorrow. Thursday. Most organizations like to plan for the year. Mm-hmm. So we sit down 9 a.m. on a Saturday. It's going to be where's my calendar? The last Saturday of the month, I think.
Of this month?
Or the next to last. Check your calendar, because mine's not popping up.
Okay, well, the last Saturday of January.
Nope, it's actually the next one. It's the 24th.
Okay.
Yeah, so Saturday the 24th, 9 a.m. till around noon at City Hall. Again, another public meeting, so it's open to the public. We won't be hearing from the public, but if somebody just wants to sit in and listen to us talk about our plans for the year.
Mimes are welcome.
You may come. So basically each committee Each council member is usually on 3 committees, chairs one of them. Each committee will report its goals for the year.
But I mean, seriously, it is an opportunity for folks that want to get a real sense of what city council and city business and city hall is. It's a Saturday, it's true, but you're going to get a taste of every single dish in the smorgasbord. So whatever those different committees are, that I think it's not a bad idea to be able to see who deals with what, who's there, who the people you approach, and when those meetings come up. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm sure FMC will be there too, so it's another reference. But
maybe,
it's just,
in the past, the ledgers showed up and comes KMCD just to report on it. So anyone's welcome, but
we'll definitely report on it. Certainly when you come back. I'm just saying, if you want to get, I don't know, something about it. It's a nice thing.
It's more informal than the official council meeting. Since usually the cameras aren't rolling, it's nice because then you can feel like you can relax a little bit. And
well, some of us just don't care about the cameras. Doesn't mean nothing.
Well, last thing is that our this is a great part. Our upcoming city administrator, who starts in mid-February, is actually coming to town to close on a house he's buying on the 23rd.
Wow.
For he and his wife and child. And he will attend our work session, not on his official duty, because he won't be a city employee yet, but he'll be there to be part of it in a more passive way. And that's very helpful, because if he starts in mid-February, for him to be part of this planning for the year is a good thing.
Yep. And that'll be fun. I know there's been a hole there for a while, so it's an important function for the city. Anything else, Sir Halley?
That's it.
Well, if that's it, then this is James Moore. We're wrapping up here. Another city business under the belt, or is that in the hat or over the shoe, over the rainbow? Okay. FMC, help us out here. We're talking to you. That's right. Coming up, if you're listening live on Tuesday, very special live Speaking Freely, Dennis Ramundi doing his usual great work. But right now we're out of here. Remember, catch us lunchtime, 12:30 Tuesday, dinner time, 6:30 p.m. Thursday, or the following Monday, breakfast time at 6:30 a.m. for City Business. This is James Moore with Michael Halley. We'll be back in just a few. Keep it tuned right here. Suelto Ocho!